Good evening, Draft League fans and Pokemon players alike. This is Blazeman. Today I'm bringing you a new season on this channel. Tonight I'm bringing you the LPDL, that is the Lily Pup Draft League, also known as the Little Cup League, run by a good friend of mine called Puppy Pound on YouTube, or Pup as he was also known, a very competent and very professional YouTube content creator and Little Cup player. So I've known Pup for a while and I've been in one of his leagues before, but I didn't upload that because I didn't get the time. So I'm going to start with this league and upload it for you this evening, starting with week 2. Week 1 I wasn't able to upload because I wasn't in my normal setup due to some external issues at my home. So this is week 2 and we're going to be jumping right into it. I didn't do any no draft breakdown because they don't do too well on YouTube, and to be honest I didn't have the time to do it separately, nor did I think it was good to do it separately, so we're just putting it all together. So today, as you can see, we drafted the last position, so we went Elekid and Terra Larvesta, both great mons. Elekid is a great Little Cup Pokemon and the best thing that was available, and Larvesta does really well because Larvesta can handle the bulky grass types and bulky ground types the Terra Elekid can't handle, sorry. And then we picked up some great utility mons in Tentacle and Cumfan. Cumfan again just being good steel type and good offensive mon. One in normal type and flying type because they're both great options for just spamming with. So we picked up Doduo, Sandygast. I was looking at other mons, but other mons got taken, so I've gone Sandygast here, which gives me a ghost type and a ground type, a stealth rocker, and a good solid spin blocker. And then I had quite a few points left over, so I went with Alola Meowth. It's a mon I've used in the last season. Base 90 speed, Technician obviously, all the things that Meowth gets, but it does get dark coverage, it gets knockoff, which is stab, which is amazing in Little Cup. So even though my fake outs aren't stab, my knockoffs are, which is, I would argue, is more important because we can really move the items and do some damage. And of course we get utility moves as well, get a lot of physical coverage, and we can be special as well. Special is not something to be slept on, so we will see that in future weeks. And then just a couple of picks I wanted another ground resist, so I grabbed Terra Phantom, just another good Terra Captain, good check to fighting types. As you can see, we've got a Makuhita here. Fighting types are very prominent in Little Cup, of course, especially mons like Timber and Mienfoo. And yeah, Bounce Sweet was the last pick. It was just a shitter Pokemon which can be brought because I was the last pick, so all the other half decent low tier Pokemon were gone, so I just drafted Bounce Sweet. Okay, so draft aside, we are jumping into this week 2 battle. Week 1 we played Vepsis. Unfortunately we took a loss again just due to shitty circumstances, not in my home setup, so it just didn't go well at all. But anyway, we move on. So week 2 we are looking to grab a win here versus our brother CJ Jensen and his Phoenix Litten. As you can see here, he's got the Magby to our Elekid. We are rivals in both Draft League and we are rivals in our Little Cup picks. So as you can see here, he's got Terra Magby. He has Terra Skidoo, which is a great Terra Captain, obviously because it's going to be Terra Water with Sap Sipper, just a good bulk up mon, or like an Assault Vest mon here. Then he's got Makuhita, a great setup threat, great bulky fighting type, a good electric, good Terramon, could be electric as a great type, or any other type to deal with the checks to fighting types. And then next up we have Wattrel, which is an insanely good Pokemon, Volt Absorb, great dual stabs in flying and electric coverage, which in Little Cup is disgusting, as well as giving access to U-turn, which is amazing. Meowth, which is a mon that should not be slept on. As steel types go, this is really good. It gives it Spadef, it can be bulky, gets rocks, gets knockoff, get U-turn, get fake out, so a great check to a lot of key types in this. Obviously it doesn't like fighting types, but as you can see, CJ made a couple changes now. His team really does not give a shit about fighting types. Gulpin, again, low tier poison type, gives just poison things, mainly gives him toxic spikes and a poison toxic spikes absorption. Also gives him, Gulpin does get a lot of coverage moves. Obviously little cups you can run it mixed as well. And then yeah, Drifloon, a very good mon, Unburden obviously with set up potential, as well as defog, utility, things like that nature. And then his last 2 picks are very good offensive threats and very fast offensive threats in Claunchel, which is always a good Scarfer. Gets a lot of coverage, gets U-turn, is a great water type offensively, and Tediosa, which gets quick feet and can be a great offensive threat with Toxic Orb. and is a real breaker that does not need to be underestimated, especially in this format where there are not many good ghost types at all, and I have one of the best ones. It can be a great offensive threat with Toxic Orb, and is a real breaker that does not need to be underestimated, especially in this format where there are not many good ghost types at all, and I have one of the best ones. So, yes, as you can see, CJ has a very offensively threatening team here. So as we're going to quickly jump into the team that I've decided to bring against this team. So we're going to be rocking off with our team captain here. We have Outlet, the Elekid, rocking the Life Orb this week with Thunderbolt, Knockoff, Psychic and Volt Switch. As you can see, CJ does not have a ground type Pokemon, so this one is going to do very well. Obviously we've got Psychic there to hit a couple of Mons, mainly the Wattrel and the Skidoo, because it has less def than defense. Obviously it can be bulk up as well. And finally we have Volt Switch there just for the momentum and Knockoff to remove any items. Next up we have our main Terra captain this week in our Terra Electric Larvesta. Again, no ground type, so Terra Electric does well outside of the Terra Skidoo, potentially Terra Makahita. Flame Charge Terra... yeah, so it gets Flame Charge, and obviously we are running Terra Blast Electric here this week for any non-potential ground types. It just does really well. It's also good, gives us a way to have a semi-offensive switch into that Wattrel. Yeah, so I'm hoping that Mon can do a lot of damage this week and hopefully this week. Next off we've got our O'Malley, the Persian, Meowth alone, sorry, with Fake Out, U-Turn, Knockoff and Feint. Again, no real normal type resists outside of the Drifloon this week for CJ. So we can click Fake Out to Revenge Magby, anything this week, and the Wattrel, the Clauncher. We can click Knockoff to remove items in Meowth and then get out there with U-Turn. Next off we do have our Kenny the Tentacle this week, rocking the Eviolite with Sludge Wave, Flip Turn, Surf, Rapid Spin. Flip Turn, Rapid Spin just for good utility, and Surf and Sludge Wave does not have a lot of good switch-ins to this, so that'll give us another way of dealing with his team. And then we have our two ghost types. We have a Spadef, Sandygast with Dual Stab, Stealth Rock and Shore Up to switch into the Magby, and then we have our Willow, our Phantom here with Will-O-Wisp, Leech Seed, Horn Leech and Shadow Claw. Oh dear. But yeah, so we have our Sandygast here, Bucket and Spade, to be able to soft check threats such as the Wattrel and the Magby, with potentially also being able to live a hit or so from the Gulpin. And then we've got our Fizdef Phantom, the Willow here, which is able to check Mons like the Terra Skidoo, the Terra Makahita, as well as soft check Mons like Teddiursa and Meowth Galar. Right, so that is the team. I will see you all for the battle, and it will be a good one because it is versus CJ, so it's going to be a bang of a battle. I'll see you all there. Right, so we're getting into it here. So as you can see, it does bring the Drifloon, the Terragogo, which is ground, the Clauncher, the Meowth Galar, the Wattrel and the Magpie. Kind of the 6 I expected. I think these all do really well in this matchup. In terms of the lead, I am expecting either the Meowth Galar to lead to go up rocks and click Fake Out, or the Clauncher to lead if he wants a more offensive lead versus some of my Mons like Elekid, or not Elekid, sorry, versus versus Sandygast, or Phantom as well. So as we see, we are going to see him lead off with the Galarian Meowth here, sorry. And I do elect to leave with my Elekid because I think Elekid match up the best. I wasn't expecting the Go-Go lead off for it because I know he wants to save that in the back to potentially be a win con or a good monster switch into this. So obviously, as is Go-Go, his Skidoo is not Terra. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch here because it does a lot of damage to pretty much any mon on this team, and obviously he doesn't have a ground type. So as you see, we are going to connect with this Volt Switch, and it does about 65% to this Meowth Galar, which leads me to believe he's more on the Fizdef side of things here with this set. Now I'm going to elect to go into my Larvesta here, because if he gets rocks up, obviously I can bring in my Larvesta before the rocks. And also if he does elect to go for the knockoff here, I don't mind losing my Muscle Band on Larvesta, because obviously Flame Charge still does a lot of damage to everything. Outside of Terragogo, I still 2-hit KO everything, obviously, because Wattrel's quite friendly. As you do see, CJ is going to make a great play and go for the knockoff here, and we are going to, fortunately for me, unfortunately for him, we are going to get the Flame Charge. We are going to get the flame body burn here. So I'm going to go for the Morning Sun because now I can tell I am a fairly decent switch into both his Drifloon and his Wattrel. Obviously, I doubt CJ is going to stay in. I'm expecting a U-turn from CJ because just how well it does in this matchup. Meowth still has good purpose, so I'm not expecting him to sack it off. But he does elect to stay in and go for the slow U-turn, which was what I expected. And we're going to see CJ bring in his one of his threats is to scare me out. If I had to guess, I'm expecting Magby to come in here because of how well Magby does into my team. Obviously, if he's a mixer, he can do pretty well with. I can't immediately switch in my Tentacle because obviously it does get Psychic and it does get Thunder Punch, so I can't always bring in my Tentacle for free on this thing. But if he does go Magby, I can just freely go into my Sandygast here, which we do see the Magby coming in here. So I'm just going to go into my Sandygast. This is my dedicated switch into this thing. I can take multiple hits from this Mon, and I can get on my Stealth Rocks in return, which will put a big dampener on the Magby and the Wattrel, and it will give me any information. It will give me information on them if they're boots, which I would like to know. So yeah, I'm going to go into my Bucket and Spade here and get up my Stealth Rocks versus this thing. We could see a physical move here. We could see Belly Drum, but I think he might be mixed, just based on my team composition. And we do see the overheat connected now. We are max Bedef Sandygast. As you can see, that still did 9. So obviously Magby is still very powerful, and of course as overheat does. So now he's -2. I'm not too worried about him getting enough attack on me, because if he's he has to have quite a fair amount of special attack investment for that. So I'm just going to click Stealth Rocks here, as we do see him switch out, and we are going to see Nimbus the Drifloon come in, which obviously is a great play. I'm going to remove my Stealth Rocks, or click obviously be immune to the Earth power I could go for. So I'm going to go aggressively into my Alolan Meowth. Hindsight, I probably should have gone Elekid, because knockoff from Meowth is just really free into this team, but I didn't expect him to go for knockoff. I did expect the Shadow Ball, but he doesn't let us go for knockoff, which I went into Meowth predicting the Shadow Ball. But yeah, so obviously Volt Switch is still free with my Elekid. But yeah, so Meowth's going to lose his Life Orb, which is not great, but knockoff is still going to do a lot of damage to this thing. Obviously we're going to see the sack from his Meowth here, because again it's burned and it's at 30%, so it is pretty useless. So yeah, Meowth is going to be able to kill Meowth, a little Meowth on Meowth action there. And we are going to see that this was one of his Eviolite users, so he only has one Eviolite user left, which we will be able to find out through a process of elimination very shortly, based on calcs, of course. So if I had to guess, I'm going to assume the Magby comes back in here. Again, just based on how well Magby does in this matchup, and how we are speed tying, and obviously I'm not Life Orb anymore, and I don't have Fake Out, so I'm not as much of a threat to Magby as he would be to me, because an overheat would absolutely destroy this Meowth. Yeah, an overheat would absolutely destroy Meowth here. As we are going to see the Magby come out here, of course, great play by CJ. We do see it take Rocks Chips, so it isn't Boots, so this could be any item at the moment. It's hard to say what item it is, but we will find out shortly what item it's going to be. So we are going to go into our Sandygast here. As much as I would like to keep Sandygast around, it has got Rocks up, and it's provided great trip on this Magby. So I'm going to go into that again. Obviously 2 overheats could pick me off, depending on the rolls. He did get a 9 roll, so 2 9 rolls obviously would take me out. So we'll have to see how he does with the rolls, because Little Cup is always fun with the rolls. We are going to see a big overheat miss from CJ. That is quite tough. That is a big miss, unfortunately. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball because it covers the Drifloon coming in here. So yes, I expect CJ to want to switch out. We actually do see the Clauncher come in here, and it obviously takes Rocks, and it takes, I assume, a fair amount. Yeah, it takes a good chunk from that Shadow Ball, and it is going to get the Spit F drop. So I'm expecting it to go for the Flip turn. So I'm just going to go into my Kenny, just because it's a safe mid ground into a lot of his Mons. and I'm not immediately threatened out by Magby. So I'm going to elect to go into my tentacle here. It might force him to go skidoo and get the tear off, which is kind of what I want, because then I can freely switch it to my phantom and take it on. So we are going to see tentacle come out here, and you'll see my opponent does go for the flip turn, which is fine. It takes more rocks with his Clauncher, which obviously is a big threat because it has very good special attack and a lot of coverage and a great ability in Mega Launcher. So I'm expecting my opponent to go into the Drifloon or into the Skidoo. The Drifloon just kind of, I don't immediately force Drifloon out, and they can get a defog off, or if he wants to go offensively, Skidoo does well, because he kind of puts me in a 50-50 where I can either flip turn out and give him a free bulk up, and then go Phantom, or I can kind of guess, but he does elect to go into his Drifloon here, and we do see that this Drifloon is actually a Boots variant. So this does give me a free flip turn into my Meowth, because I can't lose my item anymore because I already have lost it. So the knockoff won't do much, and obviously a Shadow Ball won't do a whole lot either. He hasn't managed to get rocks up yet so far, and he won't be able to for the rest of the match because his rocker has died in the Meowth. So Meowth is a free switch in here. The Alola Meowth is a free switch in here to this Drifloon. I can get off a free knockoff again because he lost his Meowth, and that was the item that I'd already taken off. So yeah, we're going to Meowth here. And again, we are going to see the defog, which is a great play in my opponent's, but I can set rocks later if I so choose to. But again, making sure the Magby doesn't take any more chip, and the Watcher hasn't taken any chip, which is good for my opponent because Watcher is a demon. I could see him sack this thing off here, or I could see something like Clauncher get sacked off because it is very low. But I do think his most expended one is Drifloon, because it loses to my Meowth and to my Elekid, and he's already got rocks off the field, and I probably won't be able to set them again because of how slow my Sandygast is. Yeah, just how much of an issue the speed is with his team. He can outspeed me and possibly 2-KO me with the majority of his team. So we do see him elect to stay in here, and he lives on just a Slither, just an absolute Slither. As you can see, he is heavy duty boots, and of course I'm just going to go for the knockoff again, but a great play on CJ's part here, getting up the tailwind for his Magby, which makes him faster than my Elekid, of course, so which is a great play for him here. Should go rather well, and we are going to see him go for a knockoff of his own. So he was defog, tailwind and knockoff, so we don't see him have a lot of coverage. No coverage from the Meowth, which is always good. And we are going to take Aftermath, which is going to bring our Meowth down, but he has no rock top on his field, nor can he set any, so I'm not too worried about that damage on Meowth, as long as I can keep it around for the Fake Out and Faint Chip for the Watchwall and the Clauncher. That's fine. Yeah, so we are going to see that the Boogie Blaze, of course, does come in here. Again, they're not taking any more chip from rocks, so that's good. Obviously good for him, not good for me. So I'm going to like to go into my Sandygast here, just in case he might expect me to switch it up and go into my Tentacle. So I would be able to take a Thunder Punch or a Psychic rather well. But we do just see CJ go here for this Fire Punch, which is very smart. Does 7 damage to me. And of course he does then risk the Overheat and actually manage to connect, which is good. So of course, unfortunately, my Sandygast does go down to this Magby, and I'm not able to get any more damage off on this thing. Now obviously at this time I'm not entirely sure it is Boots. It is EV Light, because he's not gone into his what's his last one? Yes, there's one Mon left that he's not gone into, so this could have been this might not be a second EV Light Mon, but we do see that it is a second EV Light Mon there, living a Life Orb Thunderbolt from a modest Elekid, or a special attack boost in nature Elekid, and unfortunately we do live on one from the Fire Punch, but he does knock us out with the burn, So unfortunately, in the rivalry of Elekid versus Magby has won this day. But hopefully that does not spell the end for us in this battle. But yeah, he did get the flame body, which is rather unfortunate. He did get the burn from fire punch. So I suppose there's a little bit of hacks back from missing the overheat. We are just going to go into army out here again, our revenge killer, and just pick off this Magby because of just how much of a threat it is. So it's good to see it go down because it took down 2 Mons in the process. Again, losing Elekid there is really rough considering it was our life orb one that we had left. But we are just going to keep our Meowth in the back, which is good for the Watchel and the Clauncher. But I do expect him to go into the... I expect the Watchel to come in here because there's no rocks, and obviously his Clauncher's low and his Skidoo is Terror. So I could also see the Skidoo, actually, to be fair, to go for a Horn Leech or an offensive move. But we do actually the Claunch come in here, which is not what I expected, considering I do have a good switch in Tentacle. But then he might go for the flip turn here because he's faster. But I do want to preserve my Meowth for the fake out feint priority later. So I'm just going to go into my Tentacle. If he does go into his, I did think about going Willow on the flip turn here, but then he could bring in his. Actually, we do go into Willow. We go into Willow because I'm predicting obviously he's not going to go for the Dark Pulse because my Meowth could resist that. So I'm expecting the Water move. We do find its Choice Scarf and he goes for the flip turn, which is fine. So unfortunately, we are going to see the Watchel come out here because obviously it just claims a kill. Because Watchel is a demon, and obviously I've lost my ground type, so yeah, there's nothing bad about the Watchel coming out. So I'm going to go into my Larvesta. We are fairly bulky on this set, so we can take a Hurricane or two from this thing. Now we're Terra Electric. Obviously I'd like to be Eviolite, but I already have 2 Eviolite Mons on this build, so I can't be a third. So we are going to go into our Larvesta here, Terra, and unfortunately CJ is going to miss that first Hurricane. And we are going to Flame Charge just to see if he is Scarf here, because if he's Scarf, then if he's not Scarf, then we will be able to outspeed it after the first Flame Charge. The unfortunately big miss from CJ. I mean, Hurricane is 7 out of 10 chance of hitting. We are going to see that Hurricane does do 9 damage. That's just how disgustingly good Watchel is in this format. So yeah, it's either, judging by that damage, it is Scarf Watchel, so we do need another Hurricane miss here for us to kill it with another Flame Charge. But if CJ does manage to connect another Hurricane, we do have our Meowth to revenge it now. But yeah, this is just the power of Watchel. This mon is scary. This mon is very scary in low tier format. It is definitely an unsung hero for sure. So we do see that he is Scarf, and unfortunately does land the second Hurricane again. CJ's been fairly lucky. You should definitely buy a lottery ticket after this. He's been fairly lucky. So I'm going to go into my Meowth here again. Just simple case of fake out plus feint. We could see the Skidoo come in here. I probably should click U-turn, but it is Scarf, so we could try and get a little bit greedy. Of course, CJ makes the exceptional play of going into his Nibblehorn here, which is his Skidoo, sorry. We'd see fake out do a little bit of chip, just a little bit of chip. I do expect him to Terra now, but he actually doesn't Terra, which is surprising because I assume he's Sap Sipper, and obviously he would have taken nothing from that U-turn. So yeah, I'm going to go into my Phantom. This is what Phantom is here for. Good old Willow. We are good old Willow, and ironically we can go for the Willow. We do see the Horn Leech come up here and do negligible damage, thankfully, because he is obviously a physical attacker, and we are Grass type. It's going to do not a lot of damage. I'm just going to go for the Willow. Obviously it burns everything that comes in, and we are going to see him go for the Zen Headbutt, and thankfully we don't get a flinch, which is always good. So that's what you like to see. And yeah, so this thing is, if he does try and set up, it's going to be less of a threat, and also obviously we can just go for the Shadowgallade, which does have a high crit ratio. Obviously if he goes for bulk up, we can crit him through the bulk up. Yeah, we're going to fire for Shadowgallade here just so this thing doesn't try and get too much damage off on us. But between Will-O-Wisp and Shadowgallade, we should be able to chip this thing down fairly well. I was Culber for the potential Dark Pulse against the Clauncher, but I don't think we're going to get a chance to do that this matchup. As we do see the Shadowgallade, it doesn't crit, but it does a fair amount of damage, plus the burn, We do see the bulk up though, so yeah, Shadow Claw plus burn is going to do a fair chip to this thing. We do see the Zen, and unfortunately we are going to live because it's burned and we don't get a crit. It doesn't crit us, but we do indeed crit the Nibblehorn back, which is a high crit move, so you know that's the risk you run with Shadow Claw. It's a high crit move, so we do get the crit here, and we are going to see the Plunger here. I do just sack my Willow, obviously, because again it forces him to run, force him to go for Dark Pulse here, which I wouldn't have lived, but still it forces him to go for Dark Pulse, which I can bring my Meowth in. We do see him elect to go for the Ice Beam. Again, just gives him the best neutral coverage, and thankfully we do still have Tentacle in the back. And I'm just going to go for Fake Out with my my Meowth. Yeah, so I was worried he was going to switch out here and then go into his Watchel. Obviously, I want to keep Meowth for Watchel because Watchel is low. I just wanted to make sure I could get this thing in range of a Rapid Spin, which I can now. I didn't want to chance it and try and get it. I didn't want to chance it and go for 2 Rapid Spins because I didn't want a chance to get frozen. Just by basing this how this battle could go, we could see it freeze, but obviously Ice Beams do negligible damage. We are going to get the Rapid Spin speed boost. Now we are at the same speed tier as Watchel. We are going to speed tie it. So let's see if we can win the speed tie. If not, we should live 1 anyway because we are EV Light and we do have the fairest amount of Spadef. And obviously it's Scarf, and you do see him go for the Thunderbolt. We just about hang on there, and we are going to pick up the 2-0 win versus our brother CJ. So yeah, GG will play to him, and I will see you in week 3. Peace and love as always.